Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Tampa. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
Stand by, Ron.
There you go.
Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Where's Uncle Peter? I call him.
What's going on, guys? It's your host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web from My Peter's Perspective, live here on Amped Up Sports. And it's the start of the NFL football season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they open up versus the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I'll give you my prediction and lots of questions with this Bucs team concerning the offensive line with the loss of Ali Marpet and, of course, the injury to Ryan Jensen. You also take into account the loss of Rob Gronkowski with a whole new tight end room, and then Chris Godwin and his injury status. Make no mistake about it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still have Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. He will definitely help that offensive line out because in the past, he's been able to show that he can take an offensive line that's just average and make them good enough. That tight end room eventually will get back a Rob Gronkowski. Chris Godwin will be healthy enough to be productive. Of course, the picking up of Julio Jones will be major, and this Buccaneer defense may be the best that they've had in a long time. That's why I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go 12-5, win the NFC South, and Tom Brady, possibly his last year, right off into the sunset with a Super Bowl 57 win. It's very simple, guys. It's unfinished business. It's what Brady said when he came back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of retirement. And it is the attitude of this team. It is a direct reflection of leadership. For another edition of Peter's Perspective live here on Amped Up Sports, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Happy NFL football season, and go Bucs. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, your post-game edition, victorious edition, as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business tonight in Big D, 19-3 over the Dallas Cowboys. How about those Cowboys? Not tonight. We got to fire those cannons. Huh?
How about them Bucs, baby?
Absolutely largely dominated game by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Definitely want to hear from you as your Bucs take care of business tonight on the road. 19-3, not the prettiest game by any means. And of course, some injuries that we have to talk about. But once again, a win is a win in the National Football League. Definitely want to hear from you tonight. But how do we start off this edition of the Sports Web? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. The phone number is as follows, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Absolutely a sloppy game, if you will, although a defensive masterpiece in Todd Bowles' mind, right? I mean, how could you not like that game tonight? Besides the fact you have the opportunity to score in the red zone and you settle for field goals instead. And you're going to have to get that worked out. I'll tell you what, let's just start it off. Let's go out to the phone lines because fans want to speak. We let them talk here on the Sports Web after a Bucs victory. Let's go out to Curtis in Newport Richie. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Dallas Cowboys 19-3. Go.
Was there ever any question?
Well, I tell you right now, that first drive where the Cowboys drove down and then that Buccaneer defense stiffens and they hold them to a field goal. And then basically after that, Dak Prescott had nobody. And by the way, all the people out there, and you know who I'm talking to, Jeremiah, you've talked about Carlton Davis enough. This guy is a number one corner in the league, period. He deserved everything he got because he absolutely shut out CeeDee Lamb tonight. And let me tell you something. Devin White, all over the place. Hakeem Hicks, making an impact. Unbelievable night.
Cooper Rush looked better than Dak.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
That's all I got to say.
Yes. And, of course, Dak went out later in the game with an injury. We'll get back to that in a moment. Curtis, give me your thoughts here. Tell you what, hold on a minute. Let me put you on hold. I'll get back to you in a moment. Matt Colston, let me put you on hold. We're going to go out to Curtis. We're going to hear from Curtis, and then we'll hear from you. All right, my friend?
Yep.
Stand by. All right, let's get out to Curtis. Curtis, go ahead, my friend. Oh, Curtis? Curtis, go ahead.
If can you hear me, Pete?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. Go ahead.
This is just the beginning. If people remember when this season first started, they were saying that this might be the best defense that Brady's had in Tampa since he's been here.
Well, they showed it tonight, did they not?
Don't get me wrong. I know Dallas is beat up, but I want y'all to also remember, I don't want to hear that crap. These guys are professional players.
Correct.
Professional.
Look, it's not my fault. All right? It's not my fault that the Dallas Cowboys wanted to sign a Dak Prescott to one of the biggest deals in NFL history. It's not my fault that that organization decided to sit on their ass and not go out and get another wide receiver for Prescott and let Amari Cooper go to Cleveland. That's not the Bucs' fault.
Is it also our fault that they traded Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick?
I don't understand it. You have to clue me in on what that's all about because that 5th-round pick must be a special one.
Is it our fault?
No.
That players like Julio Jones want to come play with Brady to win a championship before he retires?
Right.
Is it our fault that people were calling him Cheeseburger Lenny? Cheeseburger Lenny was showing his ASS tonight.
Oh, well, okay? Absolutely. Absolutely. How did you like that? I mean, final statistics here, over 100 yards, first and foremost, with Leonard Fournette. And I think that's what you're going to have to be sometimes, right? I mean, you don't have Gronkowski. You saw them going double tight end set. You lose Godwin early tonight. We'll get back to that in a moment. And look, at the end of the day, we have talked about this, Curtis. They are a better team when they have a balanced attack, especially when it includes that running game.
So I was at work for the first half. What happened with Godwin?
All right, well, the first play, 24 yards. He looked healthy, and then he went out about the second quarter there, right before halftime with a apparent hamstring injury, did not return. Mike Evans went out on the same series, but of course, Evans made a tremendous catch. The only touchdown of the game, one-handed catch But right now, Godwin has a hamstring injury. And then, of course, Donovan Smith, he went out with some apparent arm injury. Josh Wells against Micah Parsons, not the best matchup.
They said Donovan Smith was an elbow.
Huh? Yes, an elbow. Yes, an elbow, and he did not return either. So already, yes.
I'm gonna just quote you like you said when you first started. So a W is a W.
Yes.
A win is a win.
Correct.
It doesn't matter if you win by 50. It doesn't matter if you win by 1.
Correct.
That defense went up there.
Yeah.
And they played their behinds off.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Brady, he looked comfortable back there.
He did.
For a guy that's losing an all-pro center,
well,
he lost a guy, an all-pro Marpet. Are you serious?
Well, listen, there was one series there where Donovan Smith goes out with the injury. They're in the red zone, and Micah Parsons just not only schools Smith, who gets hurt, and then the very next play, Josh Wells has no clue at that point, Curtis. Tell you what, stand by here. Let me put you back on hold. The phone lines are packed, so stand by here. Jason Powers, hold on a minute. We got Curtis on. We'll finish up with him, and we'll get out to you, all right? Stand by.
Got it.
All right. I know, Matt, you want to call in again. So, Matt, call in after we get done with our calls. Phone lines are open. I'll put you on hold. I'll be as patient. I'll stay on as long as you want. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to let everybody call. I'm going to use my second call. But all I'm going to say is good opening season win. And go Bucs. That's all I got.
Go Bucs. All right, let me go ahead and give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Let me give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
And use that second call, right, my friend? Yep. All right, good stuff, Curtis. Good stuff there. Matt, stand by. I tell you what, Matt will come out to you, and then Jason will get out to you. Stand by. Matt, welcome to the Evolution after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Dallas Cowboys 19-3 to go to 1-0. Go ahead.
Hey, man, it was a pretty good game, I thought, overall.
Right.
The offense is about 11 days behind the defense.
I'm not ready to say that, Matt. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I know where you're going with that. To me, Brady looked fine tonight. The offensive line had their moments in this game, getting back to it. Donovan Smith gets hurt. Micah Parsons puts on a spin move, gets a sack there. And then, of course, somebody has to explain to me why you have Josh Wells on a Parsons at that point. And, of course, Brady goes down with the sack. But besides that, I thought the offensive line did a tremendous job tonight to give Brady the necessary time to complete some of the passes. Brady wasn't necessarily his most accurate. And then on top of it, you lose Godwin for a series. You lose him for, the second half of the game. Evans goes out for a little bit. Julio Jones. I mean, there were a couple passes there you could complete. At the end of the day, this whole thing made much to do about nothing. We'll see what happens with Donovan Smith and the extent of that injury. But at the end of the day, I thought the offensive line did a tremendous job tonight, not only to open up holes for Lombardi, Lenny, but also protect Brady.
Yeah, I was just kidding. What
I know you. I know you were. I know you were, Matt. I know you were. Welcome back to the Evolution, my friend.
Well, I had to wait for football to start again.
Yes.
I just want to say, all the offseason, we were talking about we're going to be a more running team, not throwing 5,000 yards.
Sure.
And we came out on the first week, and we did exactly what we were expected to do, but we did it.
Yes.
I mean, Fournette came in there, 10 pounds overweight or whatever the hell it was, and he just did his job.
Yeah.
And it was impressive. Even with Donovan Smith going out, whoever it was that replaced him,
Josh Wells,
really did a good job.
Yes, and besides that series, because when you put him on an island, it wasn't great. Yeah, I tell you right now, we got to get back to it. But Leonard Fournette, not only running tonight, 21 for 127. And check this out, guys. Check out the balance. And this is what we talk about here on the Sports Web at nauseum. Yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, about balance the offense. Brady throws the ball 27 times tonight. You run the ball 21 times tonight. Probably ran the ball more with Rashard White. So good balance there. You're not throwing the ball 40 times. Of course, you're not down in the game. But at the end of it, you definitely changed your strategy up. And you had to, because you lose a Donovan Smith. Josh Wells, one-on-one on Parsons for that series didn't look good. Besides that, once again, the offensive line did a good job, I thought.
Yeah, I thought they, for all the talk about Marpet's not here and Kappa's gone, and now we lost the center.
Correct.
So Jensen's on the sideline, and Dallas isn't the Super Bowl team, but there was a lot of people, myself included, who thought this could sneak up on us.
Of course.
And they could win.
Of course. You look back at last year, 31-29, a game that had plenty of offensive fireworks. But,
game last year.
Make no mistake about it, this Cowboy team isn't the same. It's not only the wide receiving threats on the outside, it's the offensive line. And let's give credit to where credit is due. And my boss said this from BuckPower.com, Paul Stewart. Are the Bucs this good or are the Cowboys that bad? And I said it's a little of both, right? Because not only the Cowboys don't have the weapons on the outside, and you're not going to get anything from that running game. You're going to give up on the running game once you're down at this point. You become one-dimensional. But on top of it, your offensive line is not able to protect Dak Prescott. I thought the Bucs defensive line, and especially Devin White, had an unbelievable game.
Yeah, he did. And even the one thing that I noticed through the whole game, and it got corrected, was Vita Vea without Sue next to him.
Yeah.
They didn't call his name until the end, which was nice that he ended up getting a sack before they pulled out and did the victory.
Well, you know who they called all night long? Hakeem Hicks. Hakeem Hicks is taking up those double and triple teams. He's freeing up those players on the outside. Hold on, Matt. Jason, I want to get to you. Stand by. Let me finish up with Matt. We'll get out to you. Stand by, all right?
Got it.
All right. So, Matt, go ahead. Give me your thoughts, and then we'll finish up. You can use that second call if you want to call back.
Oh, well, I was just calling in just to rib you a little bit about I don't think the offense is caught up yet. I don't think it has to do with Brady taking time off.
Okay.
But all over the league, the defense is always ahead because of the way they do the things in the offseason.
Unless it's Patrick Mahomes, by the way, who I look like a complete idiot by saying that Mahomes is about to take a step back here without Tyreek Hill.
He took a step back and bruised his thumb and still won.
He absolutely.
Tore up his hand and everything.
Agree.
But if you watch across the league, this is the week where if you're going to pull one over on some team, this would be when you did it.
Sure.
And the Bucs came in there, did what they were supposed to do with all the distractions and Brady's divorce and all that other crap hitting the papers. I think they did a notable job. I'm glad that Todd Bowles came in here on his second run as a head coach and actually got a victory. And he's doing it the way he wants to do it. I saw Bruce Arians was up there in the press box, but it didn't look like Arians was, well, I don't want to say how to say it, but Todd Bowles did what he wanted to do with his team, and it was evident that Arians wasn't involved.
Well,
and that's a good thing.
We don't know the inner makings of this relationship or what's going on with this. But it is Todd Bowles' team, right? It's Todd Bowles' team at this point, right?
It's going to have the complexion of Todd Bowles,
correct?
Instead of being this run and gun kind of thing that
correct.
we had been doing the last 2 years,
correct?
And I think that's good for everybody involved. So I'm looking forward to next week, and I hope that we keep this going. The hardest part of this beginning is the first month. If we can get through this okay, I think we'll be really good shape at the end of the year. And I don't know what happened in Atlanta, but I don't want to take a phone on that.
Well, and I'll tell you, we'll talk about that. You can call back if you want to talk about that. Jameis Winston in the fourth quarter, that's what happened. And once again, the Atlanta Falcons showing that they cannot play defense at all. All right, good stuff, Matt. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let me give you the Ric Flair. Appreciate the call. As always, my friend, don't be a stranger. Use that second call, right, my friend?
All right. You have a good night, Peter.
Yep. All right, let's get out to Jason Powers as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Dallas Cowboys tonight, 19-3 to go to 1-0. New Orleans Saints up next in the Big Easy. Go ahead, Mr. Jason Powers. Powers on Sports Podcast, No Quarter Given Podcast on BuckPower.com. Your thoughts tonight on this big-time Bucs win to start the season?
I'm going to give you some breaking news before I get to that. Jerry Jones has just announced Dak Prescott out for a long while, surgery on his thumb.
Well, and there you go. That's money well spent there, guys. Look, Dak Prescott had 37 touchdowns last year, had a tremendous year. But as I've always said on this show, when you pay a quarterback, eventually it's going to hinder your team. And now the last couple of years, Dak is once again going to miss some time. The Dallas Cowboys are in big trouble before even the season starts. But besides that, I thought the defense tonight was the big-time culprit of that, not only because of the weapons out there, but a CeeDee Lamb coming into it, top number 1 wide receiver. You see all the commercials. He's number 88. He could be the next Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson. And he was absolutely shut down tonight by Carlton Davis.
Yeah, it was a great group effort by the whole defense. I mean, Davis was on him a good bit. You had Jamel Dean. I'm sure they bracketed with, over the safeties over the top. Great plan by Todd Bowles. Like you and I talked about, don't let CeeDee Lamb and don't let Micah Parsons ruin the game.
Yep.
And I know Parsons had a couple sacks, but both of them were in the red zone. No fumbles called where you just kicked the field goal instead. No big deal, not the biggest deal in the world. And then you don't let CeeDee Lamb beat you. Dallas just doesn't have the offensive weaponry other than CeeDee Lamb to get busy, because their offensive line is average at best. And facing that Bucs front four, you knew we were going to have success, and we did.
Yeah, you did. And, you shut down Ezekiel Elliott, although, 10 carries for 50-something yards. They're not too bad. They had some success, but once you get up on them, then they give up on the running game. But the thing is, at the end of the day, that offensive line was the big-time question mark. And, Jason, all you heard about was this Bucs offensive line. Maybe that one series there where Donovan Smith goes out, gets schooled by Parsons on the spin move, goes out with the injury, and then for some unknown reason, Josh Wells is on an island and Parson takes him to school, and, it could be a bad thing for Tom Brady. Besides that, grade this offensive line. I thought they did a pretty good job tonight. Giving Brady time, open up the holes for Lombardi Lenny, and I told you that Leonard Fournette was definitely going to have a big game, and it's because of that, of the hosses, if you will, as my uncle would say, up front.
No, you're right, and NBC put a great stat on the air. Over 100 yards of the rushing yards was to the left side, i.e. Haggerty and Hainsey and Donovan Smith. So they showed that they believe in Haggerty. They ran the ball a ton his way. He opened up the holes. He did a great job. I mean, he did a really good job in pass protection. And you and I talked about on the No Quarter Given podcast, they were going to use more 2 tight end sets. You saw a lot of 2 and 3 tight ends with Otten, with Keefe, and with Braid in the game. Not as many 3 wide receiver sets that they could run the ball out of, and they did again to help the offensive line a little bit. But also, it creates mismatches in the running game as well when you have that many tight ends in the game.
Absolutely, and I think I was surprised tonight by the inactive list, if you will. Not only Scotty Miller inactive, but also Kyle Rudolph, because they wanted to go with the rookies. And to tell you the truth, the rookies did a good job tonight. You didn't have a lot of breakdowns. Of course, you didn't have a lot of those guys going out for passes, and you're exactly right. That's why you're keeping them in there and active, because they are better blockers, obviously, in my opinion, than a Kyle Rudolph. And, you've seen some moments tonight. I want to go back to this play, 48 yards to Julio Jones, but the crushing block by Lombardi Lenny on Parsons, and you have to see this play. I love this. Excuse my language. He knocked his ass down, freed it up. Tom Brady had plenty of time, and I don't know what was better, the block by Fournette or the catch by Julio Jones tonight.
No, you're right. It's a great chip block there by Fournette, and that's exactly, if you're ever going to teach that in a film session, that is the perfect way to chip block if you're a running back. When you're trying to help that offensive lineman out, that is the perfect chip block, and you saw the benefits of that. Clean pocket for Brady. He launched a 48-yard bomb, and Julio made a great catch in traffic and down the sideline. I mean, it was well covered by the Dallas DB. To give the guy credit, Julio just made a better catch.
Yeah, better catch, a great throw, and all the people saying Julio Jones doesn't have anything left in the tank. Turn on the tape tonight. We got Mr. Jason Powers on Sports podcast. Of course, No Quarter Given on the buckpower.com. There, go ahead and check that out. Paul Stewart does a tremendous job just talking to him. He was tired, but I know he's feeling good. You look at Brady's statistics tonight, 18 for 27, 212, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, trying to force it there later on in the game, but it didn't come back to haunt you because, once again, this defense really stepped up. But Brady overall, I thought he did a good job. He missed some throws. You could see that they were frustrated, especially with settling for the field goals. 4 out of 5 for Ryan Suckup. He misses 1, which he should have no business missing. But besides that, 4 out of 5. But you got to cash those opportunities in, especially against the Saints next week and going forward here with the next 3 games, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, the red zone will get better and better as they play together. Remember, they played 1 series in the preseason.
Good
so
point.
I know
Good point.
practice helps, and I get all that, but playing against different guys and different schemes, getting out there with the new offensive line. That'll get better. Again, the one mistake I thought Byron made was on the sack by when Parsons was left on Wells. That's the kind of play you need. Either you need to have a running back in there to chip block,
right,
or you need to keep that other tight end on that side to help with Parsons. Because like I said, we talked about Parsons. He was the one guy that on that defense could wreck the game. And you don't need to, again, that's something I think formationally you'll see Byron get better at doing, especially depending on what the situation with Donovan is moving forward.
No, absolutely. And we're kind of, trying to wait on this Donovan Smith injury. Yeah. Of course, it was said that it was an elbow injury. So we'll check the status on that. The other big story of the night, and it started out pretty well. Chris Godwin, 24 yards with one of those little smoke screens, really takes it, shows that he still has some speed. Unfortunately, before halftime, he goes out with a hamstring injury. Talking to Leo tonight, he feels like Chris Godwin shouldn't have played. How do you feel? Do you feel like the Bucs should have maybe rested him for a couple weeks, or at the end of the day, it's NFL football, injuries are going to happen?
That particular injury is again, I promise you, he's been running for weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, so man, to me, that injury had nothing to do with his knee.
Sure.
I think that's just your first game in action. And you remember that catch was an awkward catch. He kind of leaned forward, and his legs were kind of extended, so he might have tweaked the hamstring on the way he caught the ball. It was a low throw. He made the catch, and his leg was kind of at an awkward, angle when he caught the ball, stretched out. So that's probably more what caused the injury than the number of plays that he played and all that stuff. I don't think that was the issue. And again, I had no problem with him playing. I think it was good for him to get the playing out of the way.
Sure.
He played. They threw him that first ball. He looked good running with the ball. So I don't think the injury had anything to do with his knee.
What else did you see tonight, Jason Powers?
No, I thought they did a good job in the coverage game. I know we talked about that on our podcast, that we were worried a little about the coverage. Great job on the opening kickoff. They tackle him inside the 15. Punt coverage was good. They didn't have any breakdowns. Almost had a punt blocked early in that third quarter. But again, that's part of that's the NFL. The other team gets paid too. So good job by the coverage units and getting the ball off. And again, I thought Brady was very efficient. He didn't, he got fooled. I don't think he just got fooled on the interception he threw.
Sure.
The DB jumped in front of him, and you can see when he ran off the field, you saw him lipping to everybody, "Hey, that's my fault. I got fooled." So he got fooled. Big deal. Not a big deal, but he was very efficient. He threw the out routes really good. Again, they're going to be better and better on offense. I'm not worried about the offense one iota, to be honest with you. If they can just keep guys healthy.
Defensive line wise, what did you see from Akeem Hicks? I mean, big time question mark, of course, losing on Ndamukong Suh. And I said this, look, if Hicks could stay healthy, this would be an upgrade. And certainly you could see that impact tonight with him taking on 2 to 3 blockers at a time. And when you have that frees up more for a guy like a Shaq Barrett, of course, a Devin White coming up the middle tonight. Anthony Nelson showing out, Vita Vea a little bit later. Talk about that defensive line overall.
No, they played really good. The pressure got better and better throughout the game. I mean, the other part of the equation here, they played everybody. You saw Logan Hall in the game. Nelson was in the game.
Yep.
Bolston was in the game. Nacho was in the game. They played them all, and they rotated them constantly. It wasn't like Shaq and Vita and Akeem were out there the whole game.
Right.
They were confident putting other guys in the game, and the other guys produced. Nelson had a sack. Devin obviously had the couple sacks, and then Vita at the end there, but continuous pressure. And I really liked what I think Shoyinka did pretty well. He flashed with some big plays. He blew up that early in the game. Remember, he blew up that reverse that the Cowboys tried to run, that reverse.
Mm-hmm.
He blew that up. So I think the defensive, again, what did Todd Bowles say in the press conference? This is the deepest team we've ever had here since he's been here. And I think you saw that in big time form tonight.
Yeah, you definitely seen it in big time form tonight, and also third down conversions holding Dallas to basically nothing at that point. Yep. Something along the lines of 3 of 13. Look, when you're stopping a team and you're converting third downs, you're going to win games. And then time of possession, the Bucs dominated that. They dominated the whole game. The Cowboys were fortunate. I get it; they get paid. But I think it's more of the Bucs' inability to come up with something in the red zone. Like you said, they're going to get better. But the Bucs clearly dominated this game tonight. Besides that first drive, and I think there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that were kind of concerned because the Cowboys went right down the field. But after that, There was nothing. There was nothing for the Cowboys to do after that. Nothing. They got nothing.
No. And I will say this from a defensive perspective. Let's don't think we're the 85 Bears now.
I got it.
Because remember, the Cowboys were depleted. Say what you want. They had receivers that were not elite receivers. All those receivers other than CeeDee Lamb were 3s and 4s at best.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a different animal next week in New Orleans with their receiving core and their offense. So it's gonna be a different story next week, meaning the Bucs are gonna have to obviously have to defend more things in the offense than what they had to defend tonight. But give the Bucs credit. They did not let CeeDee Lamb get loose. Not one time did CeeDee Lamb have a big play in that game. So full credit to the defense. But the dynamics are going to change next week with New Orleans. You got Green Bay coming up in Kansas City. You're not going to see a team that has so few weapons like you saw tonight. But again, give Todd Bowles and that defense full credit. They played great.
They absolutely did. Good stuff, Mr. Jason Powers. Let me give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let me give you the woo. Appreciate the call. As always, my friend, definitely don't be a stranger here on the Evolution, and we'll see you soon on the No Quarter Given podcast on the BuckPower.com network, all right?
A winning edition of the No Quarter Given
Yes.
podcast.
Doesn't it feel good? You know, I always say this, Jason Powers. The breakfast tastes better. You have a better day. You wake up with a nice taste in your mouth, if you will. Everything is that much better when the Bucs win. Good stuff there, Jason. Appreciate it. Let me go out to Alex. Alex, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web, your post-game edition after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Dallas Cowboys 19-3. Go, my friend.
It is great to be back, man.
It is great to be back. Yes.
Especially with the win. Anytime you win, it's always a good time to talk. But I want to go over some good stuff, some bad stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just what I do. The good stuff is the defense showed up.
Mm-hmm.
They were, everybody was on point all the way back from the secondary all the way back up to the line. Everybody played great. The also good was, I think, in my opinion, Leonard Fournette balled out today. I think he was a key weapon as to why we, went as far as we did. I loved what I saw there. I didn't like when I saw when Chris Godwin got out of the game. I hope he's okay. I heard it's just a hamstring. I'm not sure what the injury is.
Just a hamstring injury. The problem with the hamstring injury, Alex, of course, is that it can be a lingering issue, and it could be a couple weeks. Who knows?
In my opinion, I don't think he needed to play today. I don't think there was any reason why we used him today. I thought we had a ton of weapons to not even bring him in the game. Like I said, Fournette balled out. You had Mike Evans come in with that touchdown catch. He came through. I think we really need to use him today. I would have gave him a couple more weeks for some bigger games coming up. We got the Packers coming up. We got KC coming up. We got some big games coming up. I don't think I would have used him so soon. So hopefully he's okay. Hamstrings, it can be iffy. Hopefully it's not serious. I would still give him a couple more weeks. But other than that, man, everybody showed up. Going to my bad, it's inexcusable, number one, to miss a field goal. That was under 30-yard field goal?
Yeah, I think it was
straight
like a 36-yard field goal or something along those lines.
It was a straight shot too, man.
I couldn't understand it. And you go and you see Brady's face. And look, at the end of the day, of course, Brady and that offense don't want to settle for field goals, but you at least want to get some points off that drive. Suck up the rest of the time, 4 for 5. But you're exactly right. You can't miss makeable field goals. But at the end of the day, you can't settle for field goals.
Exactly.
I get it.
And
Dallas has right.
And I was getting ready to hit you on that last thing. It's you cannot go in the red zone. The first half we win the red zone 3 times and settle for all field goals? Inexcusable.
Yeah.
And again, I understand. I think Godwin was already out. Was it the second or third quarter? I get that, but you have enough weapons on that offensive line and in the offense that you can score at least a couple more of those drives. I think other than that, I think the Bucs played well. I think the defense showed up very well. I liked how Winfield showed up. I think he had a good game. I think Devin White had a couple good tackles tonight. I think some big keys came in here tonight. And I just wanted to tell you, go Bucs, man. I think it's good to be back, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely good to be back. Let me go ahead and give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Let me go ahead and give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Yes.
I am a little nervous about the next couple weeks, but hopefully we can clean some stuff out. Hopefully everybody comes back healthy. And hopefully, even Tom Brady said in the press conference, it wasn't pretty, but a win's a win, and we have some stuff to improve. So hopefully they work their asses off this week and come back next week, because you got to play better than what you played today.
Absolutely. I agree.
You're not going to win with that.
No, you're not going to win with that. But I tell you right now, if your defense is holding the other offense
defense balled out. Defense balled out. There wasn't a miscue on that defense. It's just that offense, when you go in the red zone as many times as they did and you don't score and you're settling for several 3-point conversions and you're missing one at that.
Yep.
You can't do that. You can't do that next week.
I agree. Good stuff, Alex. Appreciate the call. Use that second call. Let me keep on running out to the phone lines. Ron, the Marine here in Tampa. Welcome to the Evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Dallas Cowboys 19-3. Go. Your thoughts?
Hey, Pete, my buddy. Hey, man, I wish I was in Tampa right now, but, hey.
Well, you're from Tampa. We know that you represent you're the Marine and you represent the Tampa Bay here, and you got to be happy about what happened tonight. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this Bucs big victory over the Cowboys.
Yeah, man. I'm happy. I don't know where to start. Whether I should start with the kind of I don't want to call it negative, but the stuff was a little concerning.
Yeah.
And of course the positive, which overshadowed any of that. But I do want to start out saying I hope a speedy recovery to Dak. That's unfortunate to go into a first game.
Well, it is definitely unfortunate, because he's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, and of course he's being paid as such. But that is that's the risk in playing quarterback in the NFL. I think Chris Collinsworth said it best, and I know that's cold, but now the Cowboys have some problems, and you're gonna have to figure out that quarterback situation quick. And that's why it's important to throw from the pocket. That's why it's important to, you just can't do anything about it, right? Injuries happen. It's a part of the National Football League. It really is. So we'll see how that goes. But according to Jerry Jones, it looks like Dak is going to have some surgery and he's going to be out for an extended period of time. And I'll tell you right now, shame on the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? Shame on the Dallas Cowboys for not providing more for a Dak Prescott. But then in the same breath, Dak Prescott has to take less money. That's why I keep on going back to this and beating this dead horse. When quarterbacks take that much money, they limit the teams from what they can do. And that's the reason why you traded Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns. That's how important Cooper is. But at the end of the day, that organization has to do a better job of providing an offensive line in front of them and weapons on the outside. Now I'm done with my rant. Go ahead.
No doubt. I agree, Pete, wholeheartedly on that. That's well said. Yeah, but my only concerns, I'd say, is that you can't go 4 trips in the red zone and be as explosive as we are offensively.
Correct.
And only come away with 3 points. And one of those trips was a miss.
Right. Agree.
When you start getting down to nitty gritty, you're not gonna beat teams that can score on every other trip or every trip.
Sure.
Unless our defense stays consistent, and you just have to hope injuries don't play a role. And but no, I'm happy. A win's a win. They did what they had to do to get the job done, and it's you can't ask for any better opening to the season. And so, Pete, I just want to take the opportunity, if I can, I just want to give it a shout out to my boy. He's maybe listening right now.
Sure.
But my son, Second Lieutenant Brandon McClary, same duty station right now, first duty station that his father had after his second branch of service in the Army, and he's serving as a second lieutenant military police officer. We're all proud of him.
Congratulations. Let me give you the air horns here. Great job. Great accomplishment. I know you're proud. You're a proud papa, as you should be. So congratulations to your son here, and keep on keeping on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Use that second call if you like to. All right, my friend, congratulations.
Hey, thanks, Pete. Go Bucs, baby.
Yep, go Bucs. There you go. How about those
them
Bucs,
baby?
Let's go out to the comments because I've been kind of neglecting you tonight. all these phone calls, but I asked for it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Dallas Cowboys 19-3. Your thoughts? Get on the phone lines. Get on the text line. Let's go out to Dave. Sloppy, but it's a win. Lenny was in full beast mode tonight. Once again, his performance, 21 for 127, and that crushing chip block on Micah Parsons. Unbelievable. Good stuff there. David says, I think it's time we start looking for a new left tackle. Smith and Wells almost got Brady killed out there tonight. Agree. I thought Smith was pretty good until that situation where Parsons schooled him. But besides that, getting out on blocks, I thought he was good tonight. I didn't think he was that bad. I know there's a lot of people out there don't like Donovan Smith, and who knows what the injury status of it is, because it was reported that he's got an elbow injury, of course, didn't return to the game. And now you have Josh Wells. Hopefully it's not an extended period of time. George says, great opening win. Defense played great. Secondary was impressive. That it was. Evan says, nice to have a win, and the season just started.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Absolutely crazy day of NFL football. We'll get to that if you like to. And again, the phone line is open. Jordan says they look like a top quality team all around. Again, you've got to love that. Let me go out to I Love St. Pete really quick, because I want to read those comments. As always, so good stuff, Jordan. Thank you. Jerry Jones has said that Dak Prescott going to need surgery. He'll be out for a while. Mike COC says Hicksworth was on full display. Absolutely. You can see that. And again, you go inside the numbers here for the Cowboys. Look at the rushing. 10 for 52, Dak 2 for 11, 6 for 8. So not only do you shut down the running game to a certain degree, but also the pressure. Dak Prescott was under pressure, right? The old Queen song with David Bowie, the one that was stolen by Vanilla Ice. Under pressure. That's what Dak Prescott, right? And you have Hakeem Hicks, who's taking up those double and triple teams and freeing it up on the outside. Freeing up a Vita Vea, freeing up a Devin White, freeing up a Shaq Barrett, freeing up an Anthony Nelson, freeing up a Logan Hall. Rotation. Nacho tonight in on the action. You got to love it. I get it. It's one game. People are going to party poop this and say, just one game. Don't lose your mind. But I told you at the beginning of this broadcast with Peter's perspective that this could be a special defense. We'll see. Knock on wood, they stay healthy, because this defense wasn't able to stay healthy last year. CeeDee Lamb, non-existent. Carlton Davis, hats off. Hats off to that front seven. Big time, and especially Akeem Hicks. So good stuff there. Let me go ahead, give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Mr. Dusty Grove here. High school buddy. Used to work with him at Winn-Dixie. True story. White and Winfield were on point. Of course, Winfield had an interception tonight. That was good to see. We talked about that. The secondary needs to capitalize on opportunities to get turnovers. That's exactly what they were able to do in this game. Dusty says the defense put themselves in the position to take part in a feeding frenzy. I know it's the Cowboys, but are we seeing the beginning of another great Bucs defense this year? Absolutely.
Yes!
Absolutely.
Yes!
Absolutely.
Yes!
I get it. Once again, it's just one game. But there's a reason why this Bucs team decided to move on from a JPP. There's a reason why this Bucs defense decided to move on from a Sue. Because you got a Joe Tryon Shayenka, who you draft in the first round last year. You want to see what he's got. You want to see what the young man can do. He's got more athleticism. He's younger. He's got the great opportunity to get after a quarterback. You see Hakeem Hicks in the impact. I told you, if he could stay healthy, health again, there's the word, the key word, he'd stay healthy, he's an upgrade over Sue. You get Levante David, who was an impact tonight, nearly had an interception, was on coverage. How good was Devin White tonight with Levante David healthy? Huh? How good was he? Yeah. All over the place. 2 sacks by Devin White, 6 tackles. You got to love that. You got to love that effort by this Bucs defense. But once again, it comes down to health. So yes, we could be witnessing a defense that could be quite scary. And you know what to expect on the offense. Overblown with that offensive line, although could change with Donovan Smith being out. Because there's a reason why Josh Wells is a backup in this league. But overall, I thought the offensive line did a great job of keeping Brady clean tonight, besides the one series there with Parsons. Let's go out to David here. I wonder if the Cowboys trade for Jimmy G. Certainly think so, right? How much do you give up? If I'm the 49ers and you watch Trey Lance today, I'm not giving up Jimmy G. I am not sold on Trey Lance. Not sold on him at all. He looks like a rookie quarterback. He had a big-time interception to that Bears defense. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Jimmy G definitely, you would think there would be teams out there. You know, we heard the report this morning that the world champion LA Rams were in on him, and that's the reason why the 49ers didn't release him in the first place. I think he's an asset. I don't know if you trade him. Not in the NFC. All right, let's go out to Fred here. Defense showed out. Secondary played excellent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff there. Let me give you the woo. Woo! Let's go out to Evan here. Great post game as always. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. I gotta love this, huh? You gotta love that football is back. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about this game. Once again, I get it's the first game of the season, but that's what we got to go off of. You got the Saints next week. You got Jameis Winston, who went off in the fourth quarter. First three quarters, not so much. But, of course, the Atlanta Falcons figure out to blow a lead again. And the Saints win 27-26. So now you got Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that 1-0 with that defense versus the Saints, which has been a house of horrors, right? Horrible. You got to get over that. And the way that Saints team played today, the first three quarters, I think they're a beatable team. Fourth quarter, totally different. Bucs defense is different. I know what Jason Powers said, a lot more weapons. Jarvis Landry there. Good game for him. Michael Thomas with 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, the usual suspects with the Saints. This defense is good too. You're going to get after it. All right, let's go out to Dave. Winfield is turning into All-Pro. Absolutely. Christopher Cole, the top story is going to be about Dak injury and overshadow the Bucs defense. Not on this show, because that was later on in the game. That injury happened. That wasn't during the game. That wasn't the first or second quarter where you're playing. They shut down Dak Prescott in that offense, period. Period. I look at his final statistics here as we're on the Evolution open phone line. If you want to call up, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. 14 for 29, 134, 1 interception. Not only was he under pressure, but that Bucs defense did a good job of locking down those wide receivers in a CeeDee Lamb and a Dalton Schultz. They have some weapons there. It's not like they don't. Do they have as many as Tampa? No. That's their fault. You want to pay a quarterback an absorbent amount of money? That's what you get. You get what you pay for.
Here comes the money.
Exactly. Nobody told the Cowboys to trade Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns. Nobody. They decided to go with those young guys. The Bucs defense did what they were supposed to do tonight. So that will not be the story on this show, Christopher Cole, that it was a Dak Prescott injury. This was a ass-kicking by this Bucs defense. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Dave here. Was Julio hurt later in the game? He wasn't used much in the second half. Didn't hear anything about him being hurt during the game, but you look at his statistics, and of course, we talked about it. He had his 48-yard catch tonight. 3 for 69. I thought he was impressive. And then on top of it, I like the game plan of how they were using Jones on the end around. Much like Deebo Samuel. A lot of teams starting to catch up on that. Wide receivers on the end around. They usually with Godwin. They did it with Julio Jones tonight, and he was able to be successful to convert first downs. So I like that tonight. I really did. Let's go out. I did not hear that he was hurt. Bucks Dad 101. Who is the clean-faced guy? That is yours truly right here, Peter Blake, host of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, as we're doing a late night post-game show on the Sports Web live on I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and Amped Up Sports. Let's go out to Dave. What was with Rudolph not being active? Great question, but I think it comes down to, look, the Bucs wanted to go with these younger options. They felt like they were better blockers. And who knows, maybe Rudolph is active next week. They didn't go with Scotty Miller either, or Kyle Trask, as Misador so honestly pointed out on Facebook, because he was not a big fan, if you will, of Kyle Trask. He was also inactive. Wasn't supposed to be active in the first place. That's Misador for you. Trying to be right, but I think that was interesting that they went with the Kate Otten, that they went with the Cole Keefe, and that they went, of course, with Cam Braid, who is your starter at the end of the day. Sandra Nagel says, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web with I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and Amped Up Sports. Great game. Bucs win. Awesome. Let's go out to Bucs Dad 101. Rudolph is going to be active much, just ring chasing. Not ready to rule him out. I think the Bucs have a game plan at this point. Doesn't necessarily know the offense right away. These other guys maybe do. And once again, I think they're more blocking options. I think they're better blockers at this point than a Rudolph. Just my opinion. Christopher Cole says Atlanta is just some choke artists. Laugh out loud. They are. Good, absolutely great comment by Christopher Cole.
Flawless victory.
Let's go out to Sutton. Mike Evans is the best wide receiver in NFL history. I will not elaborate any further. I'll tell you right now, that one-handed catch was unbelievable. Of course, the only touchdown for the night, but that's Mike Evans. That's Mike Evans for you. Let's go out to the phone line using his second call. Curtis from Newport Richie, welcome back to the Evolution. Using your second call, what do you got, my friend?
I'm just so impressed. I actually wanted to talk about another team, though. I know we Bucs fans.
Sure.
But I want to give a shout out to Dan Campbell and that Detroit Lions fan. Them guys fought their behinds off today. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I think Detroit has something going on over there. And Dan Campbell is a hell of a coach. That's all I want to say.
Well, he's a hell of a coach, but the problem is you got Jared Goff at the controls. You're not going anywhere with Jared Goff. I'm sorry. At quarterback, you're not. But that team does play hard for him. But look at Philly's performance today. Their defense, had to be disappointed because they were up 31-14 in that game. And, of course, the big-time story, Jalen Hurts, what would the chemistry connection be with an A.J. Brown? Is certainly very nice. I know Philly fans loved it. We'll see if they can continue it because it is only the first game of the season, but very impressive by the Philadelphia Eagles. And I said it, they're going to win that NFC East. They're the best team, and I think they're also a dark horse Super Bowl contender if Jalen Hurts can continue to play at a high level like he did today.
And how about the Steelers pulling it out against the Bengals today?
Well, I tell you right now, everybody makes fun of a kicker, but kicker is so instrumental in if you win or lose a game these days. And how can you not hit that extra point to win the game? It's right there. You have to make the kick. You got one job and one job only. You got to make the kick, and the Bengals lose.
Hey, Pete, listen. As a fan of a team that had their kicking woes for many years.
Yes. Yeah, well, we seen Matt Gay, didn't we? We seen him the other night as Buccaneer fans were, chewing their arm off after he was making kicks. And, of course, he turned into a Pro Bowler. You just don't know. He just goes from this kicker last year was tremendous. Of course, he was the rookie out of Florida. And today he just looked like absolute. That's what he looked like. And I think a lot of Bengal fans were ready to cut him or not let him on the team play. And, of course, they were at home. So just leave him at home at that point. You got to make that extra point because then the Bengals win the game. Do they not?
And before I went to work today, I was watching the first series with Green Bay. And when that rookie dropped that ball, he dropped a wide open touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was looked at him. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, I think it's so awesome and so ironic that look, you want to pay a quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers wants the biggest contract in the National Football League, and I keep on doing this, but there's an end result. You lose a top wide receiver in Devontae Adams, who, by the way, had a pretty good game for the Raiders, although Derek Carr 3 interceptions today. That's not going to get it done.
Hey, Burrow threw 4.
Yeah, that's right. Burrow threw 4. And I'll tell you right now, who was on that train, it was Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. He said it best. He said the Bengals were lucky last year. They're going to lose to the Steelers, even though the Steelers are an underdog, and Burrow was going to throw 2 interceptions, and he gave him 4 today. And the Bengals were very fortunate to be in that game, and a major injury already happened for them. We talk about Dak Prescott, but TJ Watt possibly out for the year with a torn pec. So lots of injuries happening in the National Football League. Unfortunate, but other guys got to step up.
Justin Fields looked good today.
Yep. Sure did. Sure did.
Let's just go back to our Buccaneers. I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Levante David looked great tonight.
Did he not? Did he look good? Did he not look good tonight?
He looked like he was 5 years younger than us. Really did.
The guy just continues to get it done. He's probably one of the most underrated players in NFL history.
And between him, Devin White, Joe Tryon, and Shaq Barrett, that's going to be hard to deal with.
Yep.
Later on in the season, especially if that secondary plays like they played tonight.
Agree.
Going back to what you said, Carlton Davis, that guy could be potentially one of the greatest Buccaneer corners ever.
Well, I tell you right now, he's shutting down wide receivers like CeeDee Lamb. They're playing one-on-one coverage. They're playing man coverage, and he's able to make some plays tonight. Good technique, not picking up those pass interference penalties. He did a good job tonight. I thought the whole secondary, Jamel Dean with a couple of knockdowns. And then, of course, you had Antoine Winfield with an interception, pressure in the face of Dak Prescott. We know what happens when the quarterback is under pressure. You force him to do things he doesn't want to do. Antoine Winfield takes advantage of it, and that is encouraging if you're a Bucs fan, because the secondary has talked about this in the offseason, how they want to create turnovers and take advantage of those situations, and they were able to do it tonight, Curtis.
Well, it goes back to Carlton Davis. The year we won the Super Bowl, he basically shut down Michael Thomas.
Yep.
He shut down Devontae Adams. And Tyreek Hill had nothing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, this kid that didn't get the recognition has been playing his heart out for the team. And Jamel Dean, he looks good himself. I mean, between him and Sean Murphy-Bunting, it's pick your poison.
Right.
I love Mike Edwards. I love that guy.
Sure.
I'm so proud that, he's finally stepped up and he's getting a chance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Impressive performance tonight by the defense. A great start, and they got a test next week versus the old friend Jameis Winston, who had a hell of a fourth quarter there. 16 for 19, over 200 yards of passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions the first 3 quarters. I don't know what the offensive line was doing. I know Atlanta was blitzing, and then Atlanta decided to do what they always do, which is go into prevent defense, which prevented them from winning. Good job, Atlanta Falcons, once again. Go ahead. Yeah.
They were running Cordell Patterson down their throat.
Yes.
He couldn't do nothing about it, and they got away from him to try to make Mariota throw the ball to the rookie wide receiver, and the Cowboys should have just kept running it down their throat, because they couldn't stop it.
Right. And that's what you got to do. And if this Bucs team has to continue to win ugly by running Lombardi Lenny for as many times, 21 times tonight, I'll take that all day long. 27 passes.
That's still what, 5 yards a carry?
That's tremendous.
He was over 100 yards.
Yes. 21 for 127, no touchdowns tonight. You got Brady 18 for 27, 212. You take that all day long. I love an ugly win. You know why? Because it's a win.
Listen, that was a, and I'm not comparing this.
Right.
But that looked like a 2002 Bucs win. That's what that looked like.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Dominant defense.
Right.
With Brad Johnson is no Tom Brady.
No, we will never compare those two. But I tell you right now, that stat tonight with Brady in the red zone, get this, since 2020, 59 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Let me say it again. 59 touchdowns in the red zone, no interceptions. How about that for efficiency?
Well, all I'm going to say is I'm finally glad to see Mike Evans get the recognition he deserves.
As he should. Absolutely. High time. Guy's a Hall of Famer already, in my opinion.
How could you, dude, to me, I don't care. Listen, I know Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers and other guys out there. Listen, this guy played with Jameis Winston, Mike Glennon, and whoever else, and was still out there causing havoc.
Sure.
Every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, the offensive line tonight. What was your thoughts on the offensive line? Because much was made.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
I love that center. I love that kid.
Right.
I love that kid, and I'm gonna tell you something. It's going to be hell when Jensen finally comes back.
You think he's going to come back this year?
I think he will. But
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what's happening. It's going to happen. And I pray it doesn't happen. I feel like we might end up losing somebody on the offensive line, and Jensen's going to take over. He's going to plug and play wherever he needs to.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shaq Mason looked good tonight. They pulled him a couple times. They freed up a 16-yard run for Leonard Fournette. Of course, he did get schooled earlier on in the game on a third down conversion where DeMarcus Lawrence was a man possessed.
What is that kid's name again?
Shaq Mason.
No, the rookie.
Luke.
He held
yes.
his own tonight. He held his own tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Haggerty.
And Tristan Wirfs, he was Tristan Wirfs.
Yep.
I don't expect nothing less from him.
Yeah, and you saw Parsons tonight go against Tristan Wirfs, and Wirfs just take him for a run around Tom Brady. That's what you want to do is, make sure he doesn't go inside. Just make him go around. And then, of course, we talked about it, that series there where they get down in the red zone where Parsons just makes a spin move, makes Donovan Smith just look silly. And then, of course, he goes out with the injury, and then Josh Wells. So 2 sacks there. But besides that, I think the offensive line did a pretty good job tonight.
This was a great team.
Yes, it was. And it's a tough game. It's a road game. That's a road game. That could be tough. It could be a trap. You still got Dak Prescott. You still have CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
And, I commend Dallas for continuing to try to run the ball, but, you can't run the ball on this team.
No, you can't. I mean, they try to run the ball down the middle, and it's just like an abyss. It's like a black hole. You're not going anywhere. You're going down on the ground, and that's it.
Even if you try to get the outside, I mean, you got White
and
David
chasing
you there. These guys run sideline to sideline.
Right.
Lavonte David is a 10-plus year pro, and this guy's running sideline to sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. You gotta love it. I think he's fully healthy at this point, coming off the Liz Frank injury that he had last year. Remember, David talked about this in the offseason, how it was only 60%. Curtis, anything else? Your thoughts around the NFL here, the first week? Amazing, right?
I'm just happy to have football back.
Yeah, agree. Absolutely agree. Good stuff, Curtis. Let me give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
All right, my friend. Thanks a lot for the calls here on the Evolution Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's keep on reading some of these comments. Stun says, Mike Evans is the best wide receiver in the NFL history. I will not elaborate any further. Very cool. David says, looking 20 years younger. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That's the reason why you get rid of the beard in the first place. A little bit of a change. Some people thought I was really old. I'm not that old, although I'll be 44 on October 3rd. Just saying. Accepting gifts and Cash App if you like. I'm not one of those people that puts out my Cash App and expects you to send me money. Just saying. Cam Brate is stealing money and he should be gone next year. I don't know. I mean, I think they'll get him involved in the game plan a little bit more. You didn't see a lot of pass catching tonight. You saw 1 third down conversion. Besides that, he wasn't an integral part of this offense. Very good win by the Bucs. Dallas had a heck of an offense to hold that team to 3. Nice job. Stunton says Devin White over Bobby Wagner. Absolutely.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Agree. Let's go on to Dave here. Saints up next. Atlanta exposed them, and hopefully the Bucs took notice of it. You would think they would, because the first 3 quarters of that Saints offense was awful. And Atlanta had a big lead and should have won that game. But the greatness of Jameis Winston in that fourth quarter, again, 16 for 19, over 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. That was the big-time story of the day. Winston finishes off 23 for 34, 269, 2 touchdowns. Of course, Cordero Patterson there, 22 carries for 121 touchdown. And Jarvis Landry, the LSU local product, making his hometown debut. Or, excuse me, they were in Atlanta, but making his debut for the Saints. 7 catches for 114 yards. Again, Saints up next, 4 o'clock game, 27-26 over the Atlanta Falcons. We talked about the Bears game here. Bears versus the 49ers in a mild upset. I mean, how many people thought the Bears were going to win that game versus the 49ers? Trey Lance, 13 for 28, 164, 1 interception, a key interception that gave the Bears life there, where they went up eventually 17-7. Trey Lance also 13 carries for 54 yards. Nothing on Justin Fields, but Fields was good in this game. He was good in this game. Had some long throws down the field. A touchdown to St. Brown there. Let's go, says Jason Ball. Good stuff there. Appreciate it. Christopher Cole again by the national media. I get it. Jason says, right, we kept most of our then any team in the NFL. Had lots of changes this year. They decided to do something different from last year because it didn't necessarily work out. Of course, they were hurt by injuries. And that's the reason why you're able to have Scotty Miller not active tonight, because you have all those wide receivers. And a Russell Gage, and a Julio Jones, of course, a Mike Evans. Chris Godwin went out with an injury. We'll check and see what the status of him is. Rashard Perryman. So if there's an injury to Chris Godwin, more than likely you're going to see Scotty Miller on this team be active. Let's go out to Jason again. I only listened to the game, even though it was prime time. I had to help somebody move. Go Bucs. Well, good for you. That's good. Woo! That's nice of you, because I wouldn't.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Honestly, I wouldn't have helped anybody move during a Sunday night football game. I mean, what a worse time to move. I mean, let's try to do that tomorrow, shall we? Jason says, click. All Bucs, baby. Okay, good stuff there, Jason. Appreciate it. Right. He was a Buck. Ed says, Peter H. Blake, too many high snaps. A long snapper is an underrated position. You're absolutely correct. And we saw plenty of missed kicks today, not only in that Cincinnati and Pittsburgh game, which was a disgrace. How do you miss an extra point? You miss the extra point. You miss a field goal. Just not good. Not good in overtime. And then Pittsburgh misses off the upright, and then they finally hit a 53-yarder in Boswell to win the game 23-20 in overtime. Of course, the big story, Joe Burrow in that game, 4 interceptions, not good. On top of it, Pittsburgh's defense really got after Burrow today. So all those improvements, all that money that the Bengals invested in an offensive line, not so much. Not good at all. Not good. So we'll see how that turns out. But, of course, at the end of the day, the big-time component is you have to keep Burrow upright, and they didn't do that today. Of course, the other big story, T.J. Watt could be out for an extended period of time, maybe for the year, with a torn pec. We'll see more tomorrow. We'll be on The Evolution at 9 o'clock, as always, on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and The Hub. Other scores around the league. Of course, we talked about the Eagles game there. Jalen Hurts, 18 for 32, 243. DeAndre Swift for the Lions, 15 carries for 144, 1 touchdown. A.J. Brown went off in that game. Down in South Florida, you have the Dolphins, 20-7. Tyreek Hill, 8 catches for 94 yards. Defense with a touchdown there. And it looks like Mac Jones sustained an injury to his back as he was not able to make the press conference. So we'll check on that. Ravens destroyed the New York Jets as that game was close. And then the Ravens basically ran away with it, 24-9. Joe Flacco, 37 for 59, 307, 1 touchdown. Carter for the Jets, 10 carries for 60 yards. And Corey Davis, 6 receptions for 77 yards. Lamar Jackson in that game, of course, had 2 touchdowns thrown. The Commanders and Carson Wentz, congratulations to them as they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-22. Wentz, 27 for 41, 313, 4 touchdowns. way to make a debut. Robinson for Jacksonville, 11 carries for 66 yards and 1 touchdown. Christian Kirk, reason why they paid him all that money in the first place, 6 catches for 117 yards. As Jacksonville looked good today, Trevor Lawrence looked better, still not able to put the win together. But far and away last year, from the Urban Meyer debacle, if you will, to now Doug Peterson coaching this team, they look like they have some life. All right, let's go out to Dave here. That kick for the Bengals was on a long snap or low snap, and Holder couldn't get the ball set up correctly. What is it? Laces out, and the laces were in. Jason says, yes, we are missing the OG center, Jensen. Dave says, what about the Texans almost beating the Colts? Yeah, absolutely. Lynn Marie says, great win. Sitton says, go Bucs. Let's fire the cannons for those. Let's go out to Cole here. Attitude reflects leadership. Love that.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, that line is from where? Remember the Titans, just saying. Cole says, how about those Bucs, baby? Absolutely.
How about them Bucs, baby?
That's what we do here on the Evolution, my CSB brother. Absolutely. Going back to the Texans game, this was a game that here the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports, picked for you. He said the Colts, it was not going to be a blowout, and the Texans in this game had a 20-6 lead. Ended in a tie. Yeah, the offenses were that efficient, or the defenses were that good today. So a tie between the Colts and the Texans. Hats off to the Texans, although the Texans should have won this game. Credit to where credit is due with the Colts and Matt Ryan hooking up with Michael Pittman there. Of course, Jonathan Taylor, the big-time fantasy option. So again, tie game there. Browns winning on a long field goal. I believe it was 58 yards. Of course, after Baker Mayfield leads the Panthers down to kick a field goal, and it's looking like the Panthers are going to win the game. Not so fast for Baker Mayfield. Browns win this game once again, 26-24. Baker Mayfield, 16 for 27, 235, 1 touchdown. Nick Chubb in this game, 22 carries for 141. Robbie Anderson went off 5 catches for 102 yards, 1 touchdown, a long touchdown by Baker Mayfield. I thought the Panthers played well today. Baker Mayfield played well, but just not good enough. Cleveland, there you go. They get their first win of the year. Dave says Mills is going to be a good quarterback, and I know who really likes him. That would be Harry the Greek. So we'll see how that works out. But right now, he didn't look too bad today. I don't understand the play calling in overtime. It looked like they went ultra conservative, wasn't trying to win the game at all. Montrell says, go Bucs. Absolutely.
How about them Bucs, baby?
More scores around the league, and then we will get out of here for the night. We'll be back at 9 o'clock here live on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Remember, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Of course, like I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and of course, Amped Up Sports. The Giants! Break out the Giants. How about that?
Yes!
The New York Football Giants, 21-20 there. Daniel Jones leading a comeback there. Shepard with the big play later on in that game. 2 catches for 71 yards. The return of Saquon Barkley. Of course, we have Dennis Phillips on this show from ABC Action News. Big-time Barkley fan. Drafted him in fantasy football. Has to be happening tonight. Of course, big-time Penn State fan. 18 carries, 164, 1 touchdown. Ryan Tannehill, 20 for 33, 266, 2 touchdowns. And hats off to that Giants defense, keeping Derrick Henry off the scoreboard there. Good job keeping him in check. Once again, the Giants win 21-20, and Brian Daboll's debut as the new head coach of the New York Football Giants. Vikings 23-7 over the Green Bay Packers. Kirk Cousins in this game, 23 for 32, 277, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 20 carries for 90 yards. And, of course, Joseph Jefferson, 9 catches for 184, 2 touchdowns. A lot of people saying he is the best wide receiver in the league. He certainly played like it today. Let's go out to Dave Lovie-Smith. What's the problem? Well, he may be the problem. We shall see. But his team did play hard today for about 3 to 4 quarters. And then after that, in overtime, I think they went once again. In that fourth quarter, they went ultra conservative. And, of course, in overtime, let's go out with the Chiefs here. beating the Cardinals handily, 44-21. Patrick Mahomes, goodness gracious, 30 for 39, 365 touchdowns. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought this guy would have some type of drop-off, although it is the Cardinals defense. We shall see. For Kansas City, Pacheco, 12 carries, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. And, of course, Travis Kelce, still have him, 8 catches for 121 and 1 touchdown. The Chargers beat the Raiders as they pick up their first win of the year, 24-19. Derek Carr, rough day here, 22 for 37, 295, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Josh Jacobs, 10 carries for 57. And, of course, Devontae Adams, 10 catches, 141 yards with a touchdown. The Bills, of course, won the other night over the Rams on the strength of their defense, 31-10. Josh Allen, 26 for 31, 297, 3 touchdowns. Also 10 carries for 56 yards and 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp being the lone exception for the Rams, 13 catches, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. So those are the scores around the league for today. And, of course, tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, you have the Denver Broncos led by their new quarterback, Russell Wilson, versus his old team, the Seattle Seahawks, with the 12th man. So we shall see how that works out. Anything else here? Definitely get on the phone lines if you do have anything else. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. To recap, the Bucs win 19-3. Brady, 18 for 27, 212, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Once again, going back to the amazing statistic that was put out by NBC tonight, in the red zone, Tom Brady, 59 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. There you go. Leonard Fournette, of course, Lombardi Lenny having a breakout night tonight, 21 for 127. Of course, Mike Evans with the lone touchdown there, a one-handed spectacular catch. Later on in the third quarter, 5 catches for 71 yards, 1 touchdown. Julio Jones, 3 catches for 69, including an amazing 48-yarder, which, once again, I keep on going back to it. Leonard Fournette absolutely creamed Micah Parsons with a chip block. Defensively, a solid showing there. 4 sacks for the night, 2 by Devin White, 6 tackles. Vita Vea with 1, Anthony Nelson with 1, and then Antoine Winfield with an interception. Ryan Suckup for the night, 4 for 5, missed a field goal, but besides that was pretty much money. On the other side of things, Dak Prescott, 14 for 29, 134, 1 interception, and what you come to find out, breaking news of the night, Jerry Jones says that Dak Prescott has to have surgery and could be out for an extended period of time. Uh-oh. Ezekiel Elliott, 10 carries for 52 yards. Noah Brown led them in receiving. So if you had Noah Brown in fantasy football tonight, you did pretty well. Not necessarily the best time to have him. 5 catches for 68 yards. Dalton Schultz, 7 catches for 62 yards. CeeDee Lamb, a quiet night on the strength of not only that Bucs defensive line, but that Bucs back end, namely a Carlton Davis, 2 catches for 29 yards. 18 first downs for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they dominated time of possession. Only turned the ball over once tonight. Third downs, they were good. And they held the Cowboys here. Check this out with the statistics. 3 for 15 on third down conversions. If your defense is able to shut down an offense, 3 for 15, you're going to win some games. For the Bucs offense, 5 for 14 of the night. 4 sacks again by this Bucs defense. 2 given up by that Bucs offensive line with the Dallas Cowboys. Besides that, Bucs go on to win once again 19-3. They face the New Orleans Saints next week. Anything else here, you guys want to get on the phone lines? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So I tell you what, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We'll be back tomorrow night here live at 9 o'clock on I Love St. Pete, The Hub, and Amped Up Sports. And once again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers move to 1-0 New Orleans Saints next week in the Big Easy. We'll be back tomorrow night. 3 things here on this Victory Monday.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Bucs win over the Cowboys 19-3. Have a good night.
Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com. Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business...
What's going on, guys? It's your host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web from My Peter's Perspective, live here on Amped Up Sports. And it's the start of the NFL football season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they open up versus the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I'll give you my prediction and lots of questions with this Bucs team concerning the offensive line with the loss of Ali Marpet and, of course, the injury to Ryan Jensen. You also take into account the loss of Rob Gronkowski with a whole new tight end room, and then Chris Godwin and his injury status. Make no mistake about it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still have Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. He will definitely help that offensive line out because in the past, he's been able to show that he can take an offensive line that's just average and make them good enough. That tight end room eventually will get back a Rob Gronkowski. Chris Godwin will be healthy enough to be productive. Of course, the picking up of Julio Jones will be major, and this Buccaneer defense may be the best that they've had in a long time. That's why I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go 12-5, win the NFC South, and Tom Brady, possibly his last year, right off into the sunset with a Super Bowl 57 win. It's very simple, guys. It's unfinished business. It's what Brady said when he came back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of retirement. And it is the attitude of this team. It is a direct reflection of leadership. For another edition of Peter's Perspective live here on Amped Up Sports, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Happy NFL football season, and go Bucs.